think we all come across the housing crisis in some form every day now. As you walk through your city streets, along the riverbanks, through the parks, we see the signs of homelessness. More people sleeping in doorways, more people sleeping in our parks and tents, people sleeping in the back of their cars, temporary accommodation, whatever they can make do. And that problem's just unfortunately getting worse. And the more often you do that, there's more people that you see, more people need help. How do we get on top of that situation? How can we provide these people with at least some hope of housing going forward? The numbers are staggering in terms of the housing need. Yes, there's a response. Yes, we're trying to build housing as fast as we can. But the number of homelessness and the number of people that are struggling is just getting greater day by day. And as we see that, we all stop and ask ourselves the question, what can we do about this? How do we help? How do we provide people with hope? The homeless numbers in Queensland in the 2021 census were just over 22,000 people. Now that's almost 3 years ago now, so we know that's higher than that. Rental vacancy rates right across the state are less than 1%. There's very few local government areas where people on low income or income support can afford a rental property. On the housing wait list, there's over 47,000 people waiting for social housing, and 99% of them are now high needs. The problem is growing all the time.
For the last few years, we've been experiencing a housing crisis in Queensland. It's been building for a long time, but now we've hit the point where we're at the lowest vacancy rates that we've had in Queensland's history. And that's what's really driving the 500 Homes project. We're looking at a lot of short-term and medium responses. The 500 Homes project is really about driving a longer-term response. We know there's just not enough houses to go around. So whilst there's immediate things that we can do, the only way to really solve the housing crisis is to grow housing supply. Vinnie's Housing was established in 2017 to increase housing supply across Queensland. The people that live with us come from a whole range of circumstances. Some have had mental health issues, others have escaped family and domestic violence, some have other addiction issues, but some just can't afford the rent. So there's no one person. We really look to form communities that people feel safe and are able to become well and fulfil their lives. The housing crisis is statewide, and we aim to deliver our projects across Queensland. So our pipeline has been deliberately looked at as a statewide response. So we're actively progressing projects from Cairns down to the Gold Coast and out to the southwest Queensland. All of our homes have been designed specifically for place-based support responses. So our teams will work on site with the Society's programs teams being there providing multidisciplinary support for the range of support needs that our tenants might have. Alongside will be our members and volunteers that work closely with us in referring and identifying people who are in need, but also providing that soft support or emergency relief when things become unstuck. So that might be from providing food or emergency assistance, helping with furniture and other items to help us establish these tenancies for success.
I was lucky enough to be selected to be part of a team that was chosen to try to get the 500 homes a reality. And it's the biggest honour I've ever been given, and we're all working very, very hard to achieve our goals, and we think that we will probably overachieve what our first set of goals was. We chose different locations that we knew where the demand was, and why don't we get at the best thing we can, because it's in urgent need to try to help these people. The most difficult bit was getting feedback wherever we could from local people, making sure that what we create isn't typically what's associated with the old style social housing, to the extent where architects and all of our consultants were sent design strategies from me, a letter to every one of them what our expectations were, how lucky they are that we're choosing them to help these wonderful people that do need help, and a whole list of where we think it sits, and it has to sit on completion. The biggest thing is it was a product on completion that fits seamlessly into everything else in surrounding. We really try to make sure that it's efficient, it's really efficient in design, it's really efficient in cost, and we dear on that because every dollar we save on this project we might be able to put to another project. But more importantly, it's livability, and livability is everything in the back of our minds. And one really important thing, we've got to get away from a place to live. We've got to create a place that's a home. We've got to design things knowing the greatest thing we can give them is a home. We can change their life, and hopefully that's what we do. These are wonderful people that we're trying to help. And there's different reasons why they need help, but that's irrelevant. Everybody deserves a house that they're proud of. Why wouldn't we make it great?
The housing crisis is a complex, wicked problem. There's no one organisation or one group that can solve this. So all of us as a community, we need to band together and we need to engage in the solution. Participating in the CEO Sleepout is one element, one way of doing that. But when you leave this place tonight and go back to your lives tomorrow, the next week, the next month, what else can you be doing? How can we continue to build that engagement? If we all work together, I think we can solve this problem. It's a community response. Support our communities, help our communities, work together, and we can solve this problem.